Good morning, everybody. So we are looking at the triple Qs this morning, and we had a SuperVol Sunday extraordinaire, right? So exactly what you guys saw happen at the SuperVol Sunday event, the thing that we talked about, programming into your computer, or going through and testing things and figuring out, what's going to work, what doesn't work, how do you go and handicap the market. Well, if you look at page 89 of your manual and you go back and you look at the recordings and everything that we did, what you'll see is that the strategy that I outlined for you there, the strategy that I put together, I give you all those table values and everything to show you how this thing works, played out perfectly today. So let's take a look at the charts, and I'm going to show you just what I am talking about, and let's see if you manage to capitalize on what you learned, because it should have paid your tuition in full. So we had a gap higher this morning, and the gap took us up above none other than resistance 2. And if you look at your SuperVol Sunday map of the things that I'm looking to trade, and you look at that, how we put the pieces of the puzzle together, then what you'll see is this is in line with a strategy that we know has about an 80% probability of following through and creating a successful trade. And what we're looking for here is really along the lines of what you guys are looking for every day with the Baltimore chops. So you're always looking for those 1, 2, 3 pullbacks, and the series of in this case higher lows. Whoops, 3, 4, right? Sometimes it creates a 4, sometimes it creates a 5. But every time that happens, what you're looking for is the opportunity to short into the reversion. And the reversion in the first instance this morning was from 324.41, and the logical profit objective for that was 323.51. So bam, 90 cents per share traded if you just did what you learned how to do at an event that you paid to attend. So there's a reason that you go to do these things, and you should be taking away some knowledge every single time that you learn something that can be applicable directly to what you're trading. The second opportunity came after we got up above this 325.22 level, and you can see there that was a resistance threshold that I had set from earlier. So that lined up with this right here. Whoops. Get something that makes sense for you guys. It lines up with, these highs right here. It overlaps, and then when we get the breakdown through, in this instance, we get a move that takes us down to 324.41. So the 324.41 move, again, beautiful. So now start doing the math and figure out, if you're just paying attention and you're just doing what you learned to do a couple weeks ago, April 23rd in Las Vegas, we went over this ad nauseum. Now look at the chart and tell me what you're going to do next. So the next go around, we get a violation of none other than this low. So again, it looks just like your Baltimore chop. If you know how to do the Baltimore chop, you are already ahead of the game, because this is building on that same basis, right? It's building on the same ideas. In this case, you got short on the 1, 2, 3 pullback up into roughly 324, what is that, about 324.60. And then in this case, your target is down here at the pivot. So each time that we made a lower trending high here, right, you started targeting the next level of support and resistance down. So you could have targeted the 324.41 level if you wanted, but that was pretty tight. I told my friends up in Oregon, right, we're targeting this bigger move to the downside. So from 324.60 down to about 323.51, again, over $1 per share traded. Now, keep following along. You had another move down below, and you had a move higher. What do? Right, comes back up. It's up above S or R2 again, and now you get the move back down into the range. 324.41 down to 323.51, another 90 cents per share. This one I actually goofed, and I put the profit objective right in here. I didn't goof, I did it on purpose because I saw a lot of confluence. So what I thought was going on here was that this anchored VWAP and this volume by price, we're going to create some support and that we were going to get an inflection there. So I had a bracket set up. The bracket took me out of the whole thing instead of just a partial. That one was only about 30 cents for me, but you can see what you should have done or what you could have done. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? I always say don't do it, and then I do it myself. You're looking for, right, this move back down into here. So could have done the same thing on the move higher here, 324.06 down to 323.51. I was getting ready to do this video, so I didn't really grab that one. But what's important here is that you are putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and that tells you why on a day that the trend seems higher, because the gap in the morning, we are actually focused on the move lower, right? So we have a very high probability trade here setting up over and over again, and it just tells us that, when probability is on your side, you take the probability. You take the higher probability trade, and in our case today, you can see that everything is lining up and telling us that it's staying south of the session VWAP by and large. It's running right into overhead resistance. For those of you who are short the triple Qs in the bigger picture, right, you see that there's still a predisposition to sell off on these things. Today's economic data didn't help, but I think the short side is still the quickest place to get these pickups during the trading day. Haven't really gone out to SD in terms of price this morning, but price was pretty extended, and you can see that the bands are pretty wide for most of the session. So it's taken a while for it to settle into a range where we're starting to see these things tighten up. All right, so with that said, I am going to get back to trading and just say that, when all else fails, go look at what it is that you learned, go back to the basics, right? Go back to school. Every time you forget to do something, don't kick yourself for it. Just say, all right, well, what do I need to do next time to make sure that I remember to take this kind of a trade? Because I'm guaranteeing you, I'm going to get a lot of calls or a lot of texts from people saying, oh my God, I forgot to do that. I can't believe I forgot to do that. And the reality is it's okay, right? We forget things. But for the rest of the session, focus on the pullbacks, focus on pullbacks into those key levels that we identified, right? The things on the charts, the bands that are there, the anchored VWAPs, the volume by price thresholds. And if you keep the focus tight, then you should be able to pull a couple more dollars per share out of this baby today. All right, have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning.